While you're putting up your Christmas tree in December, the Amish woman next door, she started preparing for Christmas in July. What you're about to discover will completely change how you see both Christmas and simplicity itself. In the next half hour, you'll discover exactly how the Amish prepare for Christmas starting 6 months in advance. You'll learn why their simple Christmas actually requires more planning than ours, the hidden preparation timeline nobody talks about, how 3 generations work together to create one perfect day, and the surprising reason this ancient approach might be exactly what modern families need. By the end, you'll understand why the Amish don't just celebrate Christmas differently. They prepare for it like it's the most important event of the entire year. The modern Christmas rush. Here's what Christmas preparation looks like for most of us. November hits, we panic buy decorations on Black Friday, order gifts on Amazon Prime, grab a pre-lit tree from Target, maybe bake cookies the week before if we're feeling ambitious. Total prep time? Maybe 3 weeks. 4 if you're really organized. Now picture this instead. The Amish timeline revealed. It's early July, and Sarah, an Amish mother of 4, is in her garden at dawn, harvesting the first wave of tomatoes. But these aren't for tonight's dinner. These are for Christmas. Over the next 6 hours, she'll hand-chop vegetables for salsa. No food processor, no shortcuts, every onion, every pepper cut by hand. By evening, 20 jars of salsa will line her cellar shelf. She'll repeat this process every week for the next 5 months. Think about that for a moment. While we're at the beach in July complaining about the heat, Amish families are already working toward December 25th. The contrast that changes everything. You might be thinking, that sounds exhausting. Where's the simplicity? And here's where it gets fascinating. The Amish don't see this as complicated. They see it as essential, because to them, Christmas isn't about what you buy. It's about what you've been building all year long. Let me show you exactly what I mean. The Garden Foundation, July to August. Every Amish Christmas actually begins in the spring garden, but the real preparation intensifies by midsummer. While Amish children often help with canning growing up, it's considered the mother's responsibility to sort out what they can, the recipes they use, and how much they put up. This isn't just about food, it's about teaching. Rebecca, age 12, stands beside her mother, learning to judge when a tomato is perfectly ripe. Her younger sister, Emma, threads jar rings onto a string. Busy hands, learning patience. The canning tradition has been handed down from mother to daughter in the Amish community for generations. What looks like food preservation is actually wisdom preservation. The numbers behind the tradition. Want to know something that shocked me? In general, canned goods that are processed using proper methods have a shelf life of up to a year. That means an Amish family might preserve anywhere from 200 to 500 jars of food for winter. That's not a typo, 500 jars. Tomatoes, peaches, green beans, corn, pickles, jams, jellies, chow chow, even meat. Many Amish communities can beef, pork, and chicken, so they have a healthy source of protein even when fresh meat isn't available. But here's the part nobody talks about. Each jar represents more than food. It represents time, connection, a mother's hands guiding daughter's hands, a family working in rhythm, preparing not just for survival, but for celebration. The quilting season, September to November. As summer fades and the last jars are sealed, another preparation begins, and this one takes even longer. Winter is when most Amish women do their quilting. Because women are in charge of the family garden, there is more time in the winter months to dedicate to quilting. But the planning? That starts months earlier. Picture Ruth in her living room on a September evening. Around her quilting frame sit 3 generations: her mother-in-law Anna, herself, and her 16-year-old daughter Mary. They're not just sewing, they're solving a puzzle that's been planned since last Christmas ended: the hidden complexity of simple gifts. Here's a fact that blew my mind. Custom Amish quilts can take 5 to 7 months to complete, requiring anywhere from 400 to 800 hours of work. 800 hours for a single. The first stitch in September. Once the Amish quilt has been fully quilted, there can be as many as 60,000 stitches throughout the quilting design. 60,000 individual stitches, each one by hand, each one an act of love. Now, you might be wondering how this connects to Christmas specifically. Stay with me, because what comes next completely changes how you'll see gift giving. The gift-making timeline, October to December. While we're scrolling through Amazon wish lists in December, Amish families have been creating gifts since fall. And I'm not talking about simple crafts. The Amish may or may not choose to give presents to celebrate the birth of Christ, but if they do, the gifts tend to be small, practical, and not ostentatious. They may exchange homemade gloves, needlepoint, or writing paper. Let me paint a picture of what small and practical actually means. Daniel has been working in his wood shop every evening after farm work since October. He's crafting matching toolboxes for his 3 sons. Each box is hand-planed, hand-sanded, fitted with handmade hinges. No power tools, just patience and precision. His wife Martha has been knitting. Mittens for all 12 grandchildren, each pair in the child's favorite color, each one slightly different based on hand size and age. These aren't last-minute gifts. They're the heart of preparation. They're time made visible. Think about this. When Daniel hands his son that toolbox on second Christmas, that boy isn't just receiving wood and hinges. He's receiving 45 evenings of his father's attention. He's receiving the sound of that plane scraping, the smell of sawdust, the weight of devotion. You can't buy that on Amazon. You can't even make it in December. The Amish in community schools prepare Christmas programs during the entire fall term. This is something that kids prepare for with their teachers pretty much the entire fall term. Everything about Amish Christmas is built on months of preparation. Not because they have to, but because that's how they show love. But wait, because there's more happening behind the scenes that most people never see. The spiritual preparation, November to December. Here's something fascinating that gets overlooked in every quaint Amish Christmas article. While all this physical preparation is happening, the canning, the quilting, the gift-making, there's another kind of preparation taking place. Mark Loudon, a professor of German linguistics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and expert on Amish culture, explains that the Amish embrace the holiday with simplicity, rooted in their spiritual convictions. They try to remember the reason for the season and put a lot of emphasis on things that avoid materialism and commercialism. In November, as the harvest ends and winter closes in, Amish families begin what they call heart preparation. Scripture readings focus on the Nativity. Evening prayers mention December 25th specifically. Children are reminded why they're celebrating, not just how. The card-making tradition. Here's a tradition that's both simple and profound. Christmas card making is a popular tradition among the Amish. Children and adults make homemade, stamped cards that they exchange with one another. But these aren't just cards. Many families tie cards onto a string and hang them in the living room, much like decorating the Christmas tree. Picture this: an Amish living room in December. No electric lights, no television, no tree covered in ornaments. Just strings of handmade cards stretching across the room, each one crafted by hand, each one from someone they know, each one a reminder of community and connection. That's their decoration, and it's more meaningful than any store-bought ornament could ever be. This is fascinating, but there's more, and what I'm about to share might be the most surprising part of all. Chapter 4: The School Program Preparation, November to December. In Amish community schools, one real highlight of the year is the Christmas program that happens typically on the last day of the fall term. Now, before you picture a casual school play, understand this. This is probably the only time you'll see Amish kids on a stage. It's a big deal. For 3 solid months, children ages 6 to 14 practice songs, memorize poems, and rehearse skits. The Christmas program features children singing songs, reading poems, and performing skits focused on the story of Christ's birth and the joys of gift-giving. The teacher, usually a young unmarried Amish woman, coordinates everything. Arts and crafts projects double as both education and preparation. Those gifts children exchange, they've been working on them since September. The community aspect. Here's what makes this remarkable. This is something where basically all parents and community members are invited to attend. In a culture that values humility and shuns performance, this Christmas program is the one exception. Why? Because Christmas preparation isn't just about food and gifts. It's about teaching children their heritage, their faith, their place in the community. The program is the preparation. The real gift isn't the performance. It's the process of learning to work together towards something meaningful. Now, as December arrives, everything accelerates. Chapter 5: The Baking Marathon, early to mid-December. If you thought the canning in July was intense, wait until you see what happens in December. The Amish will bake plenty of their favorite desserts like Christmas cookies, shoe fly pie, and brown sugar date drops, but plenty is an understatement. An Amish family might bake 40 to 50 dozen cookies in the 2 weeks before Christmas. The Amish are well known for their delicious homemade treats like shoe fly pies and molasses cookies, and during the holiday season, these treats become even more decadent. Here's the system. The women gather, mothers, daughters, sisters, aunts. They bake in batches. One team makes dough, another rolls and cuts, another bakes and cools. It's an assembly line powered by conversation and laughter. Some cookies will be for Christmas dinner, some for second Christmas. Some will be gift plates for elderly neighbors. Some will be sent to English friends outside the community. The meal planning. While cookies bake, dinner planning begins. A traditional Christmas dinner is prepared by the women and usually consists of turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, gravy, fruits, and Christmas pudding. The typical Christmas dinner consists of turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, fruits, and a cream cheese pudding layered with gelatin, with desserts including delicacies such as molasses cookies, shoe fly pie, and sand tarts. But remember, that turkey came from their farm, those potatoes from their cellar, that fruit from jars canned in August. Even the gelatin dessert uses berries they preserved months ago. Nothing is store-bought. Nothing is convenient. Everything tells a story of preparation. Here's what shocked me most about all of this. The revelation, the paradox of simplicity. We call Amish life simple, but is it? They spend 6 months preparing for one day. We spend 3 weeks, maybe. They make everything by hand. We click Buy Now. Their process is actually incredibly complex. Ours is simple. So why do we think they're the simple ones? The real discovery. Here's what I've come to understand after researching this for months. When the Amish prepare for Christmas starting in July, they're not making life harder. They're making it more meaningful. Every jar they can is a conversation between mother and daughter. Every quilt stitch is a prayer for the recipient. Every cookie baked is part of a memory being created. Every gift carved or sewn or knitted carries months of thought and love. To the Amish, Christmas is a day full of family, food, and most importantly, Jesus. But they understand something we've forgotten. You can't create meaningful celebration on December 24th. You have to build toward it. What modern life has lost. Think about our Christmas preparation. We optimize for convenience. One-click ordering, pre-decorated trees, ready-made everything. We've eliminated the preparation, and with it, we've eliminated the anticipation, the connection, the gradual building of excitement that comes from working together over time. The Amish woman who starts canning in July knows something we don't. The preparation is the celebration. The truth about second Christmas. Now, this makes perfect sense. On December 26th, the Amish celebrate what they call Second Christmas, a day for relaxing or visiting with extended family, sharing another big meal together, but everyone brings a dish so the women don't have to spend another afternoon preparing more food. After 6 months of preparation, they celebrate for 2 days, not because they are excessive, but because one day isn't enough to fully appreciate what took half a year to create. Second Christmas can last well into January and February if the family has a large circle of extended family and friends. Think about that. Their Christmas season lasts from July to February, 8 months. Not because they're trying to commercialize it or extend it artificially, but because meaningful things take time, and time creates meaning. Old Christmas, the hidden third celebration. And here's something most people don't know. Some Amish families also celebrate Old Christmas on January 6th, a relic of the Julian calendar and the traditional date of the three wise men visiting Bethlehem to find the baby Jesus. Unlike the jovial December 25th, Old Christmas is typically more somber and begins with fasting, followed by another Christmas dinner in the late afternoon. 3 Christmases, 6 months of preparation, 8 months of celebration and reflection. We rush through one day and wonder why it feels empty. The countercultural revelation. Here's the controversial part nobody wants to admit. Maybe the Amish aren't behind the times. Maybe we are. Maybe progress means we've progressed right past the things that make life rich. The slow building of anticipation, the shared work that creates shared memories, the delayed gratification that makes the reward meaningful. I'm not saying we should all start canning in July, but I am saying this. The universal lesson. What if preparation isn't the obstacle to celebration? What if it's the foundation? What if the Amish are teaching us that the quickest path to a meaningful Christmas isn't faster Amazon shipping, but slower, more intentional preparation? What if time invested is love expressed? These traditions are beautifully woven through faith and love. Quilts made with stories interwoven into every patch, becoming cherished gifts that envelop loved ones in warmth and tradition. That's what 6 months of preparation creates. Not just a meal, not just gifts, but a tapestry of time and attention and devotion that no amount of money can buy and no shortcut can replicate. The modern application. You don't have to be Amish to understand this principle. You don't have to can 500 jars or quilt for 800 hours. But you could start your Christmas preparation in July, even in small ways. What if you spent this summer writing heartfelt letters to each family member, one per month, to be opened on Christmas? What if you started crafting one meaningful handmade gift now, giving yourself time to make it special? What if you collected and preserved family stories all year to share around the Christmas table? The Amish have figured out what modern culture has forgotten. Rushed celebration feels hollow. Prepared celebration feels sacred. So here's what it all comes down to. The Amish don't spend 6 months preparing for Christmas because their faith demands it or because they lack modern conveniences. They do it because they've discovered a profound truth. Preparation transforms celebration from an event into an experience. What we can learn from how the Amish prepare for Christmas is that meaningful traditions aren't created in December, they're cultivated all year long. When we invest time in preparation, we're not making life harder. We're making memories richer, relationships deeper, and celebrations more meaningful. Maybe the gift isn't what's under the tree. Maybe the gift is the tree, the time spent selecting it, decorating it, gathering around it together. This barely scratches the surface of Amish wisdom about simple living. Next time, we're exploring something even more fascinating: the Amish approach to raising children in a world of screens and distractions, and the 3 parenting principles that create remarkably well-adjusted kids. You won't want to miss that one. If this changed how you think about Christmas preparation, or if it made you want to start planning next Christmas in July, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these timeless traditions. Leave a comment and tell me, what's one thing you could start preparing for this year's Christmas right now in your own life? I read every comment, and I'm genuinely curious what resonates with you. Subscribe to the Amish Lifestyle for weekly discoveries about traditional wisdom, simple living, and timeless practices. Because next week, we're revealing how the Amish approach parenting creates kids who are respectful, hardworking, and genuinely happy without screens, rewards, or modern psychology. And if this fascinated you, watch this video next, where I uncover the surprising truth about Amish education, why their 8-year schooling produces more capable adults than our 12-year system. You'll never look at education the same way again.